Round one action from the Genesis Invitational at Torrey Pines, relocated from its normal stop there at Riv, and we only had 12 rounds under par of the 72 in the field here in round one. That included Scotty Scheffler, who makes birdie there at 7, stalled on the way home. Rory McIlroy battling back with a chip in there at number 8. Torrey Pines South playing more than 2 strokes over par. Your leader, Denny McCarthy, 6 better than that with an opening 68, capitalized by this stellar approach into the par 5 finisher, an eagle at the last. A look at your leaderboard with McCarthy, a 4 under number, a couple there at 3 under with Scotty Scheffler still the odds-on favorite to win here, 2 back of the lead through 18 holes. Throw those socks in the dryer and pull up a chair. Rick Gehman following round one. We always appreciate him stopping by. Rick, you and I very simpatico as it goes, anything short of snow, and we're out there, but Torrey from 7,800 in a spitting rain and some wind. Glad to be sitting where we are on this day. Denny McCarthy is our leader through 18 holes, Rick, and it's the putter once again, the thing that's kept him relevant on tour, buoying him here in round one, a couple long putts rolling in. We're not unused to that, but on this Poana, is that advantage when you look at the strokes gained right now for McCarthy?
Yeah, it does look that way. And Joe, this is probably one of the 3 days at Torrey Pines every year that is not absolutely perfect. So these guys, they're going to have to handle it. They're going to have to suck it up. And you're right, Denny McCarthy's the best putter on the planet, and he was that entirely again in round number 1. He led the field in strokes gained putting, but he was also hitting it well from tee to green. He gave himself a lot of opportunities, and we have seen him get just white hot before in his career. I always think back to that Valero Texas Open last year where he and Akshay Bhatia just lapped the field by a bunch of shots. They go to a playoff, and it's Akshay who comes out victorious. So any other week against most fields, Denny McCarthy would have found a win, yet to find that on the PGA Tour. So we have seen him do this at times. I'm interested to see how sustainable this is, even for the best putter in the world. Gaining over or making over 100 feet worth of putts is not something you're going to do every single day, but this is a really good start for him as this course continues to hopefully dry out a bit over the next 3 days.
Yeah, it is what has made him such a stalwart on tour, but to your point, it is often the statistical anomaly that we do see the regression, the opposite of anomaly, excuse me there, but he is due for what we often see him doing. I think Scotty Scheffler might be due for one as well, the way it felt here in round one, a positive number with the putter, yes, bunts it around there at the last for a 3-putt par. What'd you make of Scotty's inward 9? Did it feel like opportunity squandered as he just sort of held on after a stellar start here in day one?
Yeah, really a tale of 2 nines here. You nailed it. He was awesome on the front. His first 9, he hit a lot of fairways. He hit a lot of greens. Remember, they were playing preferred lies out there at the South Course, so hitting it in the fairway was a big advantage. And then he kind of just stalled out and started missing fairways. I thought that a couple of the lies that he got in the rough were a touch unlucky, but that is what you bring into play when you're not playing out of the fairway. Scotty knows that better than anybody else. So he got a couple of tough draws and tough lies, was not able to make the most out of those, and did not take advantage of his final hole of the day. Number 18 ends up with a 3-putt par there. So I think that he's going to look at this round and think that he should have been able to squeeze a few more strokes out of it. But Joe, I now think back to this round and his final round last week, he has played kind of just polar opposite 9s, alternating here. So I'm interested to see if he can tighten this up and be a little bit more consistent the rest of the way.
Yeah, a little bit more variance than we're used to with Scheffler early on in this season. Again, coming back from that Christmas Day accident that cost him the first couple starts of the year. Course fit anywhere, Scheffler, and same could be said for Rory McIlroy, but it certainly feels like if someone's going to flex on this golf course, really show off that prodigious power on the weekend, it might be Roars and even par 72 after a birdie at the last for McIlroy. Is this quite possibly the best course fit from anybody in this field that you see?
There's so many of them. I think of Quail Hollow. I think of a lot of, I think of Royal Portrush. I think of a lot of places that we might be going later in the year. But yeah, this is a good one. The only issue for Rory is kind of what we saw on his first 9 is you can hit it 330 yards, which he does. But if you're not finding the fairway at Torrey Pines this week, you're going to be in that thick cabbage. You see that rough will not leave the club face. Now he is strong enough to extract his ball
Just
and give
nuts.
himself a lot of. Yeah, that's That's insane. That's not even humanly possible. He knows it. Everybody knows it. And the thing is, that will catch up to you if you're not hitting fairways. What I liked about Rory's round is the second 9, he hit a lot more fairways, and when he hit fairways, he hit greens. And now you've got a golf course that, like you mentioned, Joe, is playing 2 strokes over par. Fairways, greens, and 2 putts is picking you up ground on the rest of the field every single time. So I think he's got to tighten it up. I think he's got to play out of the short grass, but the driver is a huge benefit around here.
Maybe we see the chip in there, maybe the place of his game that doesn't get the respect it deserves.
Yeah.
The short game prowess of Rory McIlroy on display here through our first 18 as well. I'm always taken back to the spinner in Rome. I mean, that's a career highlight right there. We'll see if he can put a couple more on tape this weekend on CBS. I'm interested, as you take a look at the numbers through 18 holes, is there a statistical advantage bearing itself out one way or the other? It feels like a bomber's week, as we allude to there with Rory, but this sticky rough, obviously it leans even further towards the Bombers. Do today's numbers tell you anything, or do you throw them out due to the elements?
No, I think you can learn a lot. I mean, listen, we've now played this course quite a few times over the last couple of weeks, and we come here every year, so we've got a lot of data and information. The wetness of this golf course, and they're expected to get even more rain through Thursday night. I mean, Friday is going to be very wet still, and probably throughout the entirety of the weekend without that active rain. I think the big advantage, Joe, is going to be the accurate drivers of the golf ball, the guys who are going to be able to pick up their ball, clean it off, and put it down, assuming we get preferred lies again in at least round number 2. But even if we don't get preferred lies the rest of the way, the ability to hit greens in regulation is so valuable right now, and the easiest way to do that is to hit the fairway. So it's kind of a 2-shot golf course right now. You've got to be both accurate off the tee and then solid on your second shot. I think that is probably the way to victory, kind of a way we saw Harris English win the Farmers Insurance Open a couple of weeks ago.
To no surprise, Scottie Scheffler still our wagering favorite at around a 2-1 number, but that always, when he sucks up that much oxygen in the markets, it leaves opportunity through 18 holes. Rory McIlroy is our next closest in a 7-1 or around their number. Rick, when you look at our opportunities, do you find yourself able to look past the favorite right now?
Yeah, I do. I think there are question marks, albeit very, very small question marks, about the state of Scottie Scheffler's game. Like I mentioned, 18 of his last 36 holes have really been uncharacteristic for Scottie. The other 18 have been splendid. I'm rolling with Rory McIlroy here. He was the pre-tournament selection for me. I don't think there is any reason to get away from him. We talk about the way that he can bludgeon a golf course, and I think that is only going to improve his chances as we go on throughout the week. I don't think he needs to hit fairways to win, but if he does, he's going to be able to really separate himself. So no panic here. Let's get 18 more under our belts and see what happens going into the weekend.
It was that Saturday sprint that got him into the winner's circle at Pebble. We'll see if he can make that same push here at Torrey Pines. Rick Gehman, I must say, lovely addition with the bag tags over the picture. We're keeping an eye on the background as always, but in the foreground, it'll be the Genesis Invitational Saturday and Sunday action on CBS and streaming on Paramount+, our award-winning team, bringing you all the coverage from Torrey Pines.